Hello everybody, how's everybody doing today? So like I mentioned in my tweet, today is going to be a short stream because I am still a little bit tired after yesterday. Did 2 streams in a row. But yes, I did have fun last night with the collab with the other VTubers. I do hope to collab with all of them again if they really want to. I mean, I'm not gonna force anybody to collab with me. That's just kind of weird. But yeah, I really wanted to stream For All Time because I personally really like the game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I thought it was supposed to release today, but apparently they did it a little bit early. So that's why I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna do it today. I mean, not today. Now. Just give me 1 second. I'm tweeting that I'm live right now. Okay, tweet done. So this is technically called Love Brush Chronicles, but I refuse to call it Love Brush Chronicles because they already had an English name for it, which is For All Time, but yet somehow they insist on calling it Love Brush Chronicles. I'll never understand that. So this is hello Sakuma. So as I was saying, this isn't my first time playing it because I did forgot to move chat back after last night. But yeah, this is my first time playing this because I did play on CN for a time until I got kicked out. I still mourn that loss. And so yeah, I'm just really glad that they decided to localize it for the rest of us. The CN version has like a lot of what's it called? I guess you could just say things to do. And there was like one thing that you could do that I like so much, but I only got to play like a little bit of it just because soon after they started requiring you to be like an actual Chinese citizen. So I really do hope they eventually bring what CN has to global. Right, I should probably explain what For All Time is. So basically, it's just your typical Otome game. A typical gacha Otome game. And so this girl that you play as, she can basically travel across I wouldn't really say worlds. I think it's more like universes. At first she doesn't know, but then after some time she starts to realize, oh, I can do this. And she has like this kind of power. But the story is pretty interesting, which is why I do vouch for the game. If I have to sum it up, it's a love story set in a world of fantasy. Oh, right, and the main character, the girl, she basically makes manga, I guess you could call it, but I guess in Chinese would be manhwa? Manhwa? Writer's block was something I never considered when creating the standard pot boiler romance. After all, my inspiration came from my dreams. How could it run dry? 2 missed deadlines later, I had to face the ugly truth. I had run into my first case of serious writer's block. In the midst of scattered piles of sketches on the desk is the finished finale for the first volume. The Silver Knight has succumbed to his injuries and lies on the ground defeated. The young girl has fallen into the tyrant's trap. An adequate ending, to be sure. You can never go wrong tugging on readers' heartstrings, but for some reason, I just can't bring myself to end the story like this. Now that I'm remembering, they had some pretty good events too. Of course, I couldn't read the story because it was in Chinese, but they seem pretty interesting, so actually being able to read them in translation will probably make it better. I'm not that hungry. Oh, and another gripe I had was that they decided to give Emerald, and I can't exactly pronounce his name, but basically they gave Emerald or Kale and Lars like these different names, even though they already had names from like the CN version. I'll never understand why they do stuff like that. I'm just a little seasick, that's all. If only this fairy could stop lurching around for a single second. Was he seriously considering stopping the ferry just now? Though my seasickness still lingers, I feel slightly better because of what Kale said. The scent of fresh toast and sweet strawberry jam spreads throughout the small cabin. It's enough to make my mouth water. I'm going to miss your cooking once school begins. Oh, and another thing, I personally chose to use the Chinese version rather than the Japanese voice actors because when I was playing the closed beta, I didn't really like how they sounded, so, and I don't think they had an English one, so yeah. Kale was the first person I told after being admitted to the art department at St. Shelter Academia. I was beside myself then, so much so that I can't even remember his reaction at the time. I'm sure he felt happy for me. It's just that it can be hard to tell how Kale is feeling sometimes, because he's always so placid. Even now, he's got his usual even-tempered perma-smile plastered on his face.
但在你需要的时候，我会出现。
You sound like a knight from a fairy tale. I remember that the Silver Knight in my manga once had the exact same promise to the young girl. Oh, once made the exact same promise.
不要把我和你笔下的人物混淆。
My cheeks turned red upon hearing Kale's all too accurate rebuke. Not only did he know exactly what I was thinking, he even knew I was referring to my manga. Right before Mother passed away, she had asked Kale to assume guardianship over me. For as long as I can recall, Kale has always been a calming, guiding figure in my life. He's never once left my side since my parents' passing. When I decided to study art and attend the academy, he was nothing but supportive. Maybe that's why the Silver Knight that appears in my dreams looks just like Kale.
我知道，你最近在为漫画的事烦恼。
Also, just to reiterate from a previous stream, since I'm playing a mobile game, I will not be able to move around with my model. I have to get another phone that can either hold all the games or properly work the YouTube app.
趁天气好，多去甲板上逛逛。游轮上有很多圣塞西尔学院的学生，你愿意的话，可以交一些新朋友。
After Kale leaves, I look outside the window. Strangers stroll on the deck against the backdrop of the endless sea, stretching all the way across the horizon. It suddenly hits me that I'm very far away from home. Well then. Go walk around on the deck. As I step onto the deck, the refreshing ocean breeze blows against my face. I am on my way to St. Shelter Academia, a strangely named yet highly renowned academy in the fields of art and research. Many well-known figures in the art world have sung the praises of the art department there. There are even rumors that Emerald, that artist of such intrigue, is a professor here. Every one of his pieces on the touring exhibit garnered universal praise, yet despite all the attention, no one knows anything about his true identity. Even though all the rumors are unsubstantiated, the mere mention of this legendary artist is enough to attract hordes of students to St. Shelter Academia. I will be here for the next few years honing my craft. I can't help but wonder what kind of art I'll be capable of producing by the end. To be honest, I have no clue. One thing I am sure of is that I'm eagerly anticipating the campus life that awaits me. Look around. And talk to characters with bubbles over their heads. Why is the school built on an island? Get inspiration by conversing with other people. Collect a certain amount of inspiration before sketching. Another thing that I do like though is being able to interact with other people. So it's not like just the main 4 guys. Well, I guess technically it's 5, but the main 4. But you can just, walk around campus and talk to other people. Or I have some sickness pills. But yeah, there's usually always something to do in the game. Which is why I got like pretty high up in my rank when I was playing on CN. What is it trying to protect? link all the inspiration dots together. And so as you get further into the game, you'll be able to do sketches daily and to level up not only your art skill but your cards skills, or as they call it, illustros. And yeah, you can also send students sketches and level up your relationship with them, which is, like I said, another thing that I like, because it's not just focused on the main guys, but you can also interact with the other people who are there at the school. After completing a lap around the deck, I find a hanging ladder leading to the up deck platform. I clamber up it. The expansive view from the top of the ferry puts my mind at ease. I set up my easel and prep my canvas. As I gaze at the vast, watery expanse before me and feel the ocean breeze against my face, my mind drifts to Kale. And as you do progress through the main story, you will, I think it's just like the first part where you can get cards of the main guys. Just as I'm about to put my painting away, I hear footsteps behind me. Whoever it is, I can tell they tower over me, judging by the shadow they cast. I turn to get a look at their face, and my heart skips a beat. Golden hair, aquamarine eyes, chiseled features. This is the face I've seen in my dreams. The face that I've drawn in my manga countless times before. He walks up to me and tilts his head, smiling cheerfully. When I first started playing this game back on CN, I thought he was just like the stereotypical playboy guy. Well, stereotypical playboy flirty kind of guy. And I was right about the flirty part, but he actually is pretty genuine. So I was glad that I was wrong about him. The man looks like a clone of the emperor from my manga. I suddenly begin to have the terrible feeling that I'm in some kind of nightmare. I instinctively take a few steps back. I know writer's block can be tough, but this would be the first time I've heard of an artist's characters coming to life because of it. I continue to move back as he walks towards me. Suddenly he grabs my arms. The warmth of his hands and the strength of his grip bring me back to my senses. So he is real after all. He loosens his grip, and I can feel my previous apprehension melt away. It seems the resemblance is just a coincidence. Thanks, I nearly took a tumble just now. Seems like a normal guy. Yeah, so his name used to just be Rorschach, but then they added Lars to it. I mean, I guess they figured using just Rorschach would be too hard to pronounce for people, so they just gave him like the first name Lars and made Rorschach his last name. How do you spell that? He lets out a helpless sigh after seeing my confused expression.
圣塞西尔学院的入学知识问答里加上这一题。不过现在你叫我罗夏就好。
Maybe it was always there, and I just couldn't really see it. I'm not sure. I nod and repeat his name to myself quietly, and check him out again. He doesn't look like he'd be a student, but the leopard fur he's wearing doesn't exactly have the air of a professor either. At any rate, I'm at a bit of an impasse in regard to finding out more about this guy for the time being. Might as well be civil. What were you saying before my little mishap?
我想找个地方看看书，这里看起来很合适。
Oh yes, I'm trying to find a place where I can read, and this seems like the perfect spot. Oh, oops. Read the wrong line. I can't think of many people who would read on a trip like this. In fact, Kale is the only one who comes to mind. I feel a renewed sense of respect for this man. Perhaps I shouldn't have judged him based on his appearance alone. What are you reading? Lars takes the thin book that's in his hand and holds it up to me. He's holding a volume of In Passing? Isn't that... I stopped myself from finishing my own sentence. Lars, misunderstanding the reason for my intrigue, lights up. Yeah, manhwa is what they call it, but like spelled differently. manhua, I think. I've read bits and parts. I used to, but I haven't followed it in a while. Without a second thought, I disowned my manga, dropping it like a bad habit. A look of disappointment spreads across Lars's face.
是吗？那太可惜了。我很喜欢这个作者的，最近的愿望就是得到他的亲笔签名。
Before I have any time to react, he plops the manga in my hand.
这本漫画就借给你吧，你愿意的话可以翻一翻，喜欢的话也可以留下。我家里还有好多本，所以不要有压力。你也画画，我觉得你会感兴趣的。
One of my fans has appeared out of thin air and given me my own manga. There's probably no person on this earth who hasn't read through In Passing more times than I have. It's a rather peculiar situation, to say the least. Kale's voice could be heard coming from the deck.
你在上面吗？
Yeah, I'm here.
原来罗斯切尔德先生也在。
Do Kale and Lars know each other?
这位是罗夏·罗斯切尔德先生，费森尤顿集团的总裁，也是圣塞西尔学院的主要投资人之一。我们已经见过了，对吧？
Lars winks at me. The two of them are the modern incarnations of the Silver Knight and the Emperor brought to life. I shake my head, trying to rustle out the niggling thoughts of my manga from my mind. As the sun slowly disappears below the horizon, Harp Island becomes visible in the distance.
今天天气这么好，船一定能够顺利靠港。祝贺你入学。那我就祝贺你独立生活的开始，将来长成像我一样的大人。对此我持保留意见。
Thank you, both of you. The ferry's foghorn sounds. We are almost there. Kale and I disembark from the ferry and follow the crowd. It doesn't take long before we reach St. Shelter Academy's campus gate.
校外的住处会在明天整理好，到时候我通知你。去临时宿舍的路，你一个人可以吗？
I'll be fine. Don't worry.
好，路上小心。
I've only taken a few steps before Kale calls out to me. His distinct voice is one I can easily separate from the rest of the crowd.
关于你的漫画，或许到了故事不得不往前发展的时候，你自然会知道该怎么画。
I wave goodbye and turn back around. While preparing for the entry exam, I envision myself passing through this gate countless times. As the students continue to arrive, a crowd slowly builds at the entrance of the academy. Some students are cool as cucumbers as they greet each other, upperclassmen no doubt. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the newcomers and freshmen are shuffling about timidly. I'm decidedly part of that latter group. I unfold the campus map that was handed out to me earlier and look for the route to the temporary dormitory, trying to remain aware of my surroundings all the while.
整个假期没练琴，这几天我要住在练习室，不然没法通过爱乐者社团的考核了。
A music major, and a rather lackadaisical one from the sounds of it.
昨天我夜观天象，你猜怎么着？星空告诉我，学院今年会有大事发生。
Intrigued by the girls' conversation, I take a few steps closer.
你用什么看的？昨晚在船上我什么也看不见。假期买的望远镜，是我这个学期的新玩具。
It's an astronomy major with her friend, who seems to have missed the point of the original conversation.
哎，一年级的小鬼看这边，我是陈子涵，是你们的学生会长。
I look up and immediately notice a head of neon pink hair standing out prominently amongst the crowd.
下面呢，我会带你们参观整个校园，感兴趣的可以跟上，一路上请认准我的脸哦。
Follow the tour. Since I'm new, it'd probably be a good idea to join the tour.
正前方是学院的综合楼，你们明早报到的地方就在这里。律政楼是律政系主楼，学长我呢就是律政系的一员，所以也可以说是公平和正义的化身。 音乐系在清音楼，这一带的艺术气息尤为浓厚。我每每走过，都感觉自己的灵魂在风中摇曳，如同一朵幽兰。
Sure, a flower that I'm starting to feel allergic to.
由于天文台建在山上，天文系教学楼比起其他专业，距离主校区也会更远一些。但好处是地势高，风景优美。哦，顺带一提，我们学校的创始人孙卓一理事长就是天文系的教授之一。天文系啊，也是我校历史最悠久的专业。
Aside from illustrating the geography of the campus, William is also sharing interesting stories with the group.
就像你们知道的每一所大学一样，我们学校也有一个传闻中不能去的禁地，那就是后山的山洞，违禁闯入者后果自负。
William pauses dramatically, smugly taking in the disconcerted shudders elicited in some of the students. As for me, I can't roll my eyes back far enough.
各位也无需太过惊慌，因为接下来一连串密集的校园活动，很快就会让你们将这个可怕的传闻抛诸脑后。比如3天后的繁星杯，就是历来最受到圣塞西尔学院重视的活动。
The crowd of freshmen begins to disperse as we reach the final stop of the tour, the student dormitory. Hey, William. Why'd you trail off when you were introducing yourself at first?
你说那个？
William looks around to make sure no one is eavesdropping and lowers his voice to a whisper.
那几个字是他得意助理。
It's slowly starting to make sense now. You mean you're just an assistant? So he was pretending to be the student council president this whole time?
嘘，小声一点。小学妹，你可不要告诉别人，尤其是我们会长，不然。
He slides his finger across his throat dramatically. Sounds like the real president isn't someone you want to mess with. Are you thinking about taking his place or something?
你不懂，这就叫生命不息，斗争不止。
As I say goodbye to William, I glide my fingers across my lips to let him know his secret is safe with me. William is delighted at my friendly gesture and does the same motion across his lips. With the battles, I mean, they're really nothing to write home about. It's fairly simple. You tap the enemy, tap attack. That's basically it. Have you encountered any difficulties in practice? Pencil was broken. Using a pencil sharpener, you arrived on time.
你看不到海的尽头，却能将它诉诸笔尖。我希望能永远在你身边。
The temporary dormitory is in a separate building from the normal dormitory. It's a space that the school lends to students who are planning to move off campus soon. It's not exactly the Ritz, but it has everything I need. I expected a lot worse, actually. Just as I put down my luggage, someone knocks at the door. A girl is standing outside my doorway.
你好，我是住在你隔壁的沈凌。 我一直在想隔壁宿舍会是谁搬进来。刚刚在房间听到楼道有动静，就悄悄看了一眼，看到是你。
Well, do I live up to all the hype? An effusive smile spreads on Naledi's face.
你和我想的一样，我好高兴。对了，需要我帮忙整理吗？我昨天搬进来的，已经打扫好了。
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll be moving out tomorrow. Naledi gives me a confused look.
可这边是正式宿舍呀。
I rechecked the residential arrangements, and sure enough, they placed me in the wrong building. The school must have made a mistake. At any rate, I've got a boatload of sweets in my room. Care to join me? Naledi looks indecisive.
抱歉，我在为繁星杯做准备，要上台跳舞。最近在饮食上比较严格。
The Stellaris Cup? That's the competition that William mentioned. Oh, so you're a dance major? Don't worry about the candy then, and good luck with your competition. As I walk Naledi to her door, she halts and turns around.
不过，我觉得偷偷吃一小块应该没什么问题。我们可以多了解一下彼此。
My thoughts exactly. That night, I have the same dream once again. I wake up and get out of bed. The manga Lars lent me is sitting on top of my luggage. After flipping through a few pages, I feel more at ease. I'm unable to hold back a smile as I think back on how excited Lars was when he insisted on lending me the manga. I met a lot of nice people today. What's more, my dreams haven't been affecting me all that much, despite them becoming more frequent. They're just dreams after all. I better turn in early. Orientation is tomorrow. Orientation. I plan to meet up with Kale in the afternoon after orientation ends. By the time I reached the admin building, most people had already finished and were leaving. Orientation is in Hall 3. The only question is, where's Hall 3? Hey, it's my man Clarence! But what fucking sucks is that I have to wait forever to get to his story. As I'm attempting to wrap my brain around about which direction to head in, I look up and notice a tall boy with glasses standing by the second floor railing. The two of us make eye contact for a brief moment. Excuse me, but do you know? Before I can finish my sentence, he gestures off in another direction.
新生报道在那边。
Clarence, it's my favorite guy. As I head in the direction he pointed me in, I begin to wonder if he can read minds. When I turn around to get another look at him, he's already gone. I quickly find the orientation for art majors and sign in. Besides the student handbook and the other usual materials introducing us to the curriculum, the art department also gave all the incoming freshmen a box of drawing pencils as a welcome gift. Every department issues different welcome gifts. Some are uniquely adherent to the major, while others are merely a reflection of... This makes no sense. While others are merely a reflection of professor's personal preference. Okay. Some are uniquely adherent to the. Oh fuck. No. Some are uniquely adherent to the major, while others are merely a reflection of the professor's personal preferences. Male majors, for example, are inexplicably given black umbrellas. I run into the lady on my way to the dance department. She sees me as well and gives an energetic wave.
你要回去了吗？
Hey, nope. Yeah, I'm moving out of the dormitory today, so I wanted to come and let you know. The lady appears sullen after this reveal. I hold her hand and attempt to console her. We'll still see each other on campus, don't worry. I'll also be at the Stellaris Cup to watch you perform.
真的吗？你真的会来看我？
Of course I will. Promise. The lady's mood has taken a sharp 180. She's positively beaming now, her eyes resembling two crescents as she smiles.
这届繁星杯高手云集，我很期待到时候见到沈凌同学的精彩表演呢。
I mean, it's kinda sus to say, bro. Like, these are like young students and you look old as. A middle-aged man walks up to us with a slight smile. He has the air of a professor.
理事长。
The lady tugs on my sleeve after seeing that I don't have a clue who this man is.
这是学校的理事长孙卓一老师。
Nice to meet you, Professor Heinrich. Yeah, Heinrich. Heinrich. I'm familiar with the name, as William had mentioned it before. He is the founder of St. Shelter Academia, and one of the most senior professors in the astronomy department. Heinrich gives me a slight nod in response to my greeting, allowing me to get a good look at those dark green eyes. They remind me of deep, bottomless pools. He certainly appears to be a gentleman.
再过2天就是比赛了，沈凌同学准备好了吗？我知道，你为了这个比赛努力了很久，最后关头可不要松懈。
Not my line. His eyes are intently focused on me, even though he's speaking to the lady. It's disconcerting.
谢谢理事长的关心，我这就打算去练习了。
The president stops me as I prepare to leave with the lady.
同学请留步，我有话对你说。
The lady gives me a look that seems to ask whether or not I want her to stay. I shake my head in response. What is it that you want to ask me, President Heinrich?
你就是叶老师带来的那个女孩吧？
Kale is a professor here, so it's to be expected that the president would know about him and me. However, what I wasn't prepared for was what he said next.
有画家 Emerald 在背后指导，难怪你在绘画上获得了那么好的成绩。要知道，获得全奖的学生在整个学院都屈指可数。
I can still vividly recall the exhilaration I felt when I first learned that I'd be getting a full ride. I also remember Kale telling me that all of my hard work had paid off. But what was the president talking about? Emerald had instructed me? Since when? The president seemed taken aback by my rather obvious bewilderment.
你不知道吗？叶轩就是神秘画家 Emerald， 在我校担任美术系的教学工作。
Kale is Emerald? In all the years Kale had spent looking after me, Never once had he expressed any interest in art, period, let alone painting. And now this man was suddenly telling me that Kale had been the artist I'd always idolized this entire time? This is all too much for me to process right now. I want to leave, but the president clearly isn't finished with the conversation.
小学妹，又见面了。
A stentorian voice rises up from amongst the crowd. I feel much more at ease when I see William's characteristic shock of pink hair. There's someone else with him. It's the guy I met in the admin building.
理事长，关于繁星杯筹备相关的事，我想和您商量一下。
Isn't Clarence just
好，
adorable?
稍等。
Honestly, he looks the best with like long hair. Heinrich turns to look at me again.
同学要是遇到什么麻烦，之后尽管来找我。你是叶轩的学生，我帮着照顾一些也是应当的。
I pushed through my embarrassment and managed to force a smile. President, I think it'd be best if we pretended this conversation never happened. Kale never told me he was an artist. The stone-faced young man off to the side stares at me with a look of indifference. Before the president can begin his next sentence, the boy cuts him off.
理事长，繁星杯有几个问题需要尽快敲定。
知道了，走吧。
William gives me a subtle wink as they leave, and I wave to show my gratitude. But who was that other one? Is he a member of the student council as well? I begin thumbing through the student handbook, and then it hits me. On the page that I flip to, there is his photo. His name and position are printed below his picture. Clarence, student council president. So it's you. I let out a bemused chuckle as I think back on William's impersonation of him. I take a closer look at the photo. He looks much better in person. And I concur. Another thought hits me. I flip to the last page and see Kale's name in the faculty section. However, there is no accompanying photo or introduction of any kind. Just his name, and nothing more. I'll ask him about what the president told me when I have the time. Okay, so I will do this other one and then I will be ending stream. Because like I said, it'd be a short stream. I just wanted to stream this and get started and not be too behind. I step out of the admin building and find myself surrounded by club stands. And I'm also kind of hungry, so more like alien paparazzi.
萌宠同好交流会在此强调入会条件：萌宠照片1张，申请人请勿提交自己的照片。
I don't qualify for a lot of these clubs by default. Though I would like to linger a look around. I've made plans with Kale. I quickly make my way through the crowd, crossing off all the clubs I have no interest in joining from my mental list. To avoid all the congestion on the main avenue, I try taking a shortcut through the alleyway next to the law building.
陈子涵，海报递给我。
That voice. I look up to find the student council president on top of a ladder. I take a look around. It's obvious that his not-so-handy assistant is already long gone. He's still holding out his hand, so I bend down to pick up the poster and pass it to him.
梯子，扶稳了。
Clarence's command is both terse and precise. I use both hands to keep the ladder still until he finishes with the poster. Clarence looks so damn good, man. honestly want his cards so badly now. The poster reads, Stellaris Cup coming soon. He is backlit by the sun when he turns around to face me. It somehow makes him look more approachable.
是你。
It finally dawns on Clarence what just transpired. I glance up at him with a cheeky grin. You always seem to have the high ground whenever we meet, Clarence. The fact that I've called him by his name and not his official title makes Clarence bristle. He descends the ladder and faces me for the first time. We're actually speaking eye to eye.
谢谢。
You're welcome. You helped me out. Oh, you helped me out earlier as well. Clarence pushes up his glasses.
我帮过你，什么时候？
So, was him helping me, was all that just a part of his job? A fully formed plan manifests itself in my brain. I come to the sudden realization that I've never depicted anyone with glasses in my manga. Never mind. Anyway, we have sort of an unwritten rule in the art department. If someone owes you a favor, then you have to be their model. That means if you really want to thank me, you'll let me paint you. Obviously, this unspoken rule was a pure fabrication, created only moments ago by my own imagination. Clarence glares at me. I try to hold his gaze to keep him off the scent of my lie. After a while, he nods his head slowly.
这样的话，我们什么时候开始呢？
He actually bought it. Is this really the same person William was describing? He must have taken some creative liberties with his depiction. We can start right now if you want. So this is basically, so I'm guessing, no, I'm not guessing. There are two versions of this card for him. Some of them don't have two versions, like how you saw with emeralds. But with some of them, they have two versions. I'm not sure which one I want to do. I mean, I'll like it regardless, but I guess I'll do the slightly adjusted tie. All done. Clarence doesn't show the slightest interest in the finished product. Don't you want to see how you look in the painting?
我就读的是法律专业，在绘画上是个外行，很难给出值得参考的评价。
That's right, y'all. He's a law major. He's gonna be a lawyer, which means he'll be making lots of money. Feelings are subjective. Why don't you come and see how it makes you feel? Seemingly convinced, Clarence stares at the painting with great seriousness. For whatever reason, I feel a bit nervous.
我还是很难想象一种没有具体标准的评价。如果你坚持问我，我会说。
My heart starts to pound.
我觉得很好看。
Clarence lets out an awkward sigh and tries to look elsewhere.
这太不客观了。好了，我的工作完成了，我要走了。
Why are you leaving in such a rush?
学妹，作为初次见面的人，今天一天，我们见面的频率高得有些异常，我们彼此都应该保持警惕。
The utter seriousness on his face makes me have to use every last ounce of willpower not to burst out laughing. Just one other thing. Your poster. It's crooked. slightly tilting to the right to be precise. Clarence's gaze snaps to the poster, which is indeed slightly askew, and he grimaces. After a brief moment, he helplessly sighs and looks at me begrudgingly.
学妹，能麻烦你再帮我扶一下吗？
I'll help you any day, anytime, anywhere. I start grinning from ear to ear, as I've just found the subject for my next painting. Of course, and all you've got to do is let me paint you again. Clarence falls silent.
学妹，有必要再说一次，我就读的是法律相关专业。最近的一些诈骗案例中，被揭发的诈骗人往往是低估了受害人的智力水平。
He's right though.
我觉得你也不应该有这样的错误判定。法律范围内，学妹如果还有其他疑问，现在或以后都欢迎随时联系我。
His intelligence is very sexy. Yes, I did say that with my whole chest. No questions. Go right ahead. I'll be sure to keep this ladder nice and sturdy for you. I'm the one who was wrong. Clarence is exactly the way William described him. Oh, so it's a battle. I guess I can do that real quick. So after this battle, this will be the end for now. I will definitely play more later. Oh, Jesus. Okay, there we go. Like, it's really awkward trying to, like, cancel attacks. Which is why I never do it. And make sure I always attack who I want to attack.
我会珍惜与你并肩的时光。
Okay, so this is the end. And thank you, Sakuma, for sticking around. Lurking, I guess I could call it. And thank you to everybody who will be watching the VOD. I hope to see you in stream. And this is goodbye for now. Hold on. So I am not sure. I'm not like absolutely certain, but I will be part of a collab later today for Among Us. Yeah, I think I will be. Yes, Among Us. Somebody will be debuting. Let me get their name. Yeah, I probably should have had this like clockwork already, but of course I don't. You know what would be helpful? If she had like her Twitter and stuff up, but I guess not. But yes, I will be doing a collab with a VTuber who will be debuting later today. I think it's starting at 6 p.m. EST, and the Among Us stream collab will be a few hours later for that. Hold on, let me see if I can find her her Twitch or Twitter. I know this is like awkward silence as I try to find this stuff. But yes. Here we go. So I will post it in the chat. Her Twitter. So basically her Twitter and Twitch are essentially the same. Just the Twitter is uppercase and the Twitch is lowercase. Okay, I was about to say, oh, why is that not sending? Yeah, so I will be there for her debut stream later today. So yeah, that's basically it for announcements, I think. I guess there's one more. So next Thursday, it won't exactly be a collab, I think, but we will be speaking together, so I guess dual commentary this coming Thursday with what was his Twitch again? Why am I so bad at this? Let's see. Okay. Yes. I mean, I'm not sure if it'll hold up. 'Cause he might be busy. But just putting it out there just in case it does happen. So yes, I'll be doing dual commentary with him, hopefully this coming Thursday. And I think that's all the announcements I have. So, and once again, thank you for coming to stream and watching the VOD, and I will see you later. Bye.